Okay, so this is a big old chunk of wood. I could have done a better job of getting this round and taking off some of the work here with the chainsaw. It's sort of 6 in one, half dozen the other. Just start really, really slow at this stage. I'm going to turn the speed all the way down. This guy's going to probably want to try to shake, but we'll just go low and slow and get it done. Should be fun. To use my forged out chucks in expansion mode. So I've got an approximate OD of this, not quite completely closed, but nearly so. So it's right around this ring, so we're going to flatten that up. And then once it's flat, I'm going to start about hollowing it and then eventually create a dovetail taper to the inside. Okay, so after removing the faceplate and bringing this guy back in, put it in place, bring up the tailstock. So that's going to help me establish sort of pretty close center, and second, it's going to push it in against the jaws of the chuck, so that as I now tighten this in expansion mode, I'm going to sort of look around and make sure I've got a pretty even gap all the way around, and that looks pretty good. Turn down the speed and see how she spins. Okay, so I'm about 9.5 inches in diameter here. So I'm going to shoot for somewhere in the range of about 1 inch in wall thickness. So that's my roughly 10%. So after having made a giant mess, somewhere in here is a tool. Take this guy off the chuck. It's pretty heavy still, because one, it's wet, and two, it's pretty thick. So this guy I'm now going to take and put into a box. I'm going to label it with the date, put it in a box, pack it with the shavings, You couldn't tell on the camera, but some of those as they were coming off were just sopping wet. I was literally getting sprayed with water as I was going, so I'm going to let this dry nice and slow, particularly at the end grain. I'll probably film packing this into a box with the shavings, and then put it aside and then let it dry. So I got this guy labeled with the date. I believe it's birch, so I wrote that on there as well. I got a box, and I'm just going to take it. I've got a bunch of these shavings already in the box, and I'm just going to pack it all in and around. This is pretty commonly done with just a paper bag. I don't happen to have any paper bags, but I think the box is a reasonable substitute. I'm just going to sort of close it loosely because I want some air to come out. I want it to dry, but I want to have it very, very slowly to minimize the risk of that cracking. So once this is dried for, I don't know, it's almost an inch thick, so probably let this go 8 months or longer. It's all going to distort because it's not going to contract and shrink isotropically. So what we're going to end up is going to sort of get misshapen in this direction, as is that dovetail tenon in the bottom. So in the end, we'll true up the edge so I can mount it flat, clean up the dovetail, mount it, and then we'll do the final turning. So this is going to go away for a while. I got a whole bunch more to do, but made a giant mess, which is always fun, and come back later when this guy's dry.